Hello, my name's Baz Emerald. I'm from Perth, Western Australia, and my medium is mural painting. I started getting into art when I was in high school. I had a really cool graphic design teacher, and he's like a really interesting guy, and he was really supportive of my art, and it just made me, really keen to paint and to draw. That started when I was like, in maybe year 10, so maybe 14. And so that got me into art, and then I started doing stencils. And then, after high school, I met some guys that were really into graph, and we'd go out bombing and tagging. And then one night I just went along with them, and that's how I got into that side of street art. And then they kind of stopped painting, but then I just continued on my own. Yeah, just started focusing on large scale street art, and I guess why I continued doing it was just because it's a great form of self-expression, and I love being creative and experimenting with new styles, and I just love seeing my artwork in a public place. Yeah, I just continued to do it because it was just really fun, and it was great because I got to hang out with all my other artist friends and maintain those friendships through painting. I think my proudest accomplishment in art probably be working with Darren Hutchins, a mural artist from Perth, on the Kwinana Freeway on like a really large scale mural. Yeah, that would be my proudest accomplishment because it was a paid job and I got paid really well, and I made like a 15K paycheck from that job. I worked really hard over a few weeks, um, but yeah, that was like the most I've ever been paid in my life for art, and I was able to spend pay off my debt and fix my teeth and have like financial freedom. So that was a huge accomplishment. Um, but as for my own artwork, yeah, I painted a big mural in Freo recently that I'm really proud of. It's a big blue one, and I mixed a bunch of paint for it. And I'd never experimented with that style before, and I was really happy to pull it off. And um, I just really enjoyed that process of mixing paint. And I was just really proud of the outcome. It made me feel really accomplished, and that was probably my biggest accomplishment with my own mural art. But it's gone now. It got buffed. Lasted 13 days. I just experiment a lot, try different styles and different methods of painting. So not only aerosol, but using brushes, rollers, pressurized paint guns, and just to become um, competent with all different painting mediums. And some other advice is just to not give up. It can be really daunting sometimes, and can be really hard to try and come up with new concepts and to stay original. So my advice is to just not give up and to keep trying to push the boundaries, and also to paint with other artists as well, just to learn from your peers, and don't be afraid to ask other artists for help and support and advice. Just keep applying for different jobs as well. Yeah, part of mural art is applying for paid jobs, and so I recommend just not being disheartened when you don't get a job or you get knocked back. I get knocked back from maybe 9 in every 10 jobs that I apply for. So my advice to beginners is to just keep applying for jobs. Even though you get knocked back, you'll just get better and better at applications. Um, and to find inspiration in other forms of art as well, not just mural art. You know, and always try to experiment with your art, and to try new concepts and challenge yourself as well, and don't just stick to one style. Um, there's a few tips. That's a good question. Lots of different challenges, I guess. Number one is living in Perth. It's a pretty conservative city, so it's tough to try and, just find a place to paint where you're not going to be bothered by anyone. There's a couple of places in Perth where you can do that. Here, YMCA, HQ, Leaderville, and in Freo as well, there's 2 legal walls you can paint. Finding paint as well like and having to buy it because it can get really expensive. So challenge is to just like find, free paint. Um, Storing all of your gear as well is another big challenge. Like you need to have a workshop or a studio or a shed to keep all of your gear. That's a huge challenge. Um, Cleaning it and storing it properly is a huge challenge. Just having a place to do all of that. And if you don't have a studio, like if you can't afford to rent an artist studio, then you kind of have to do all of that at your house. Um, Challenge also for doing, like public art or, street art that you don't have permission for. The challenge is, not getting in trouble. So that means painting really late at night, or, a challenge is painting in the dark, or another challenge is, finding a place like an abandoned building or somewhere where you're not going to get in trouble for your art. That's a huge challenge. Um, and also challenge like internal challenges. So maybe like feelings of doubt in yourself, thinking, oh, like my art's not good enough, or um, are people even gonna like my art? That's a huge challenge. Trying to come up with something original is a challenge as well, because everyone has to get the inspiration from somewhere. But it's challenging to try and paint something that hasn't been painted or designed before. That's a huge challenge for me. Um, just trying to like stay active and motivated is a huge challenge as well. Deciding whether you should paint over someone else's art is a challenge as well. Um, yeah, a toss up between the house on Stirling Highway in North Freo that I painted with extinguishers, or the floor mural that I did in Whitegum Valley. I've done two there, but probably my favorite piece in the book is the squiggly line mural. And the story behind that is there's like a big abandoned, like flat slab of concrete in Whitegum that got turned into like a DIY skate park. So a bunch of my friends and I just cleared all the rubble from the concrete pad and then built obstacles to skate on. And it was just a place where we could like hang out and skate and like not be disturbed. And then I just saw it as a good opportunity to paint and experiment on that ground. And so every night I would go there with a roller pole and like a 270 mil roller. And I just started with one line on the ground, that just went in an abstract shape. And then every day or every night I would go back there and add two more lines next to it. So they were kind of like concentric lines that kept adding up. And that was just a freestyle. A lot of my work is just like experimental and very freestyle. And that's my favorite piece because I spent a long time painting that, probably like 3 weeks, just adding lines and lines and lines. Wasn't really sure where it was going, but I just wanted to keep adding to it and see what happened. Yeah, and I really liked that one because I used up like many liters of paint and I could paint undisturbed at night. And I was able to cover a really large surface area and I didn't need to have scaffolding or, a lift or anything. That's one of the beauties of painting on the ground. And also, it's also a space that hasn't been painted before, so you don't risk like painting over someone else's art. So that's probably my favorite piece in the book. Oh, there was a few in there. There was quite a few. I'll read out all the ones that are my favorite, favorites that really inspire me. Number one is hope. Oh, another big accomplishment in art of mine was getting to assist Adnate painting his skyscraper in Perth City. He did like a portrait of 3 portraits on the side of a building called the Adnate Hotel. And I was really lucky to assist him with that. So that was a huge accomplishment. And Hope was also assisting at the time, another artist called Yo-Yo. Hope's a big inspiration of mine. Great guy too, we've painted together a couple times. Jackson Harvey is another favorite of mine. I love his stuff. I love his pixel art. I think that's really cool. Also love his tattoo work and his work with Lego. Knock is right up there as well, another WA artist. I think his work is incredible and I really like his style. And I like that he's been painting for a long time in Perth. I used to see his pieces at the silos in Fremantle. That's before I even started painting. Crisis is right up there as well. I love their boundary pushing. I also am a big fan of their tattoo work. Jacuzzi as well. Yeah, they probably gone the hardest in Perth out of a bunch of riders in the past few years. So I really appreciate their raw style and the way they just really go for it straight out and don't hold back. It's really just the quantity is really impressive from that guy. Met him once ages ago. And yeah, Fleck also is right up there. Love their stuff. Love the use of color. And so yeah, all of those artists are my favorite in this book. I've been painting for like probably 10 years, but taking it seriously in the past 3 years, putting a lot of my effort into mural art and applying for mural jobs. Yeah, I've had a few big jobs lately, which I've been pretty happy about. Um, and I've been able to pay my bills with those murals, so that's been great. Um, yeah, and some of my dreams and inspirations are to travel and paint. Yeah, if I could just keep traveling around and get different paid mural jobs around the world, that's like my ideal lifestyle. And also mentoring other artists, I think is really important, and I get a lot of joy out of doing that. Helping other artists that are just entering the street art world. Perth is really getting there with its street art and graffiti scene. Um, yeah, it's slowly becoming more accepted here. There's lots of large scale murals that have been popping up around that I've been really impressed by, especially in the wheat belt, and the silo trail is really impressive. And I think it's still got a long way to go to get to, um, any other street art mecca like Sao Paulo or like, Lisbon or Athens or even Melbourne. But it's on its way there, especially with graffiti programs like Drip here at HQ. And yeah, shout out to Phase as well, the graffiti program that happens in the city of Melville. I started doing that years ago. That really inspired me to take art seriously and do art full time. I think Perth can use a lot more of that sort of support for youth who are interested in street art and graffiti. And yeah, just if you're a, if you're a mural artist, keep going for it. It's great to see new work popping up around Perth City. Love it. Thanks.